way of life. Each day we will explore the acts of worship that we do, and we will find out how they relate to our hearts, how they impact our souls, how they help us understand the reality of existence. All of this and much more in our show, One Step Closer. All of you are invited to join us. Share your stories, share your aspirations, share your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll be happy to have you on board. Join us in One Step Closer.
There's so much that we can do for so many who are in need. Give our time, give our wealth, give our love, give ourselves.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the Fiqh of Zakah. Now Sheikh, just before the breaks there, you started looking into the Quranic way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about those people who don't pay zakah. Now you gave us good tidings and then a warning. Let's carry on from this.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ يَكْنِزُونَ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةَ وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَهَا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَبَشِّرْهُمْ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. Those who hoard up gold and silver, and they spend it not in the cause of Allah, announce to them a severe warning, announce to them a severe torment. What kind of torment is it? It will be from the same type of what they used to hoard up. It will be a curse for them. يوم يحمى عليها في نار جهنم فتكوى بها جباههم وجنوبهم وظهورهم هذا ما كنزتم لأنفسكم فذوقوا ما كنتم تكنزون. That the gold and silver will be made into sheets, then it will be heated in the fire of hell. يحمى عليها في نار جهنم. Then those sheets of gold and silver, which was their treasure in this life, they did not pay their zakat due on it. Their foreheads and sides and backs will be branded with those sheets of gold and silver which have been heated in fire. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. Not only that, to increase their humiliation, it will be said to them, هَذَا مَا كَنَزْتُمْ لِأَنفُسِكُمْ. This is what you hoard up. فَذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْنِزُونَ. So taste your treasure. All of that because they prevented a very small share, the right of the poor in their wealth. They did not acknowledge it, nor did they pay it. So there will be a destruction of their wealth and investment in this life, in addition to the severe torment that is awaiting them on the Day of Judgment. In Surah Ali Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again brings to the attention of those who are reluctant to pay their zakah dues, by saying in verse number 180, وَلَا يَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ يَبْخَلُونَ بِمَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ هُوَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ بَلْ هُوَ شَرٌّ لَهُمْ سَيُطَوَّقُونَ مَا بَخِلُوا بِهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Let not those who withhold miserly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon them of wealth, so they do not pay its zakah. Let them not think this is good for them. Rather, it is evil for them. On the Day of Judgment, such wealth, which the zakah was not paid on it, will surround them around their necks. سَيُطَوَّقُونَ مَا بَخِلُوا بِهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Will suffocate them on the Day of Judgment. In the sound hadith, Abu Hurairah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu ardah narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, مَا مِنْ صَاحِبِ كَنْزٍ لَا يُؤَدِّي زَكَاتَهُ إلا أحمي عليه في نار جهنم فيجعل صفائح فتكوى بها جنباه وجبهته حتى يحكم الله بين عباده في يوم كان مقداره 50,000 سنة ثم يرى سبيله إما إلى الجنة وإما إلى النار. Why did I mention this hadith even though I quoted a similar ayah, verse number 34 of Surah At-Tawbah, which provides the same meaning that wealth, gold and silver will be made into sheets and will brand, after it will be heated in fire, brand their foreheads, sides and backs. This hadith, by the end, mentioned another phrase that benefits another meaning, which is that one who withheld his money out of miserliness, not out of denial of the mandate of the zakat, because we differentiate between one who denies the mandate of the zakat, that's a kafir, even if he prays. But this hadith pertains the person who does not pay while he acknowledges that the zakah is. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish him on the day which everybody is waiting for the reckoning, for the establishment of the hisab, 50,000 years, the length of that day. Then afterward, يَرَى سَبِيلَهُ إِمَّا إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ وَإِمَّا إِلَى النَّارِ. That indicates he is still Muslim, but he's at risk. He may go to hell, may go to heaven, but by the end still he will be punished in his grave, and he will be punished in the day which its length measures 50,000 years of our time.
Okay, Sheikh, the point you made in here, which maybe we can go into the next parts of this amazing topic, I mean you're expounding it, really opening up the doors to this topic, is that you spoke about silver and gold. Now, is it only silver and gold? I mean, what types of wealth is zakat, or the word that we're looking at, zakatable, what type of wealth is zakat to be paid upon?
When we say gold and silver, because that represents most of the wealth. And this is what people desire most. If you been living in the States the past few years before the financial crisis, everybody in the media is talking about gold, gold, and save up gold, and turn your cash into gold, and so on. And in the past, the currency was basically either gold or silver. If anybody would present a paper or any currency other than gold and silver, it will be worthless. Okay? So, the zakah is not only due on gold or silver, but this is the main category where the zakah is due on. Whenever, of course, obviously, it reaches the nisab, the minimum threshold of position, for an entire year. We will cover all of that in details, the hawl and the nisab and all of that. But the zakah is due in 5 categories of wealth. Number 1, livestock. Not every livestock, particularly camels, cows, and sheep. Whenever they reach a certain number, that will be discussed on time. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if any person who owns camels, cows, and sheep and does not pay their zakah, on the day of judgment, such livestock or cattle will come as fat as possible, as big as possible, in order to beat them, to beat that person with their horns, and to step on him with their hooves. And that will be repeated over and over and over. Why? Because he used not to pay the zakah due on them. So the zakah on livestock is in camels, cows, and sheep. Then the second category is gold and silver, as we said, and the ayah is very clear, verse number 34 of Surah At-Tawbah, وَالَّذِينَ يَكْنِزُونَ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةَ. Then the third category is the trade of goods. Any type of trade, in any type of lawful business, obviously, whether in the stock market, or in a shop, or a store, or in a hospital, transportation, technology, so any trade of goods. In the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in verse number 267 of Surah Al-Baqarah, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنفِقُوا مِنْ طَيِّبَاتِ مَا كَسَبْتُمْ. Spend of the lawful earning of yours. So our earning is zakatable too. And the fourth category is grains and fruits. Grains, barley, wheat, and we'll talk about whether corn is included or not when we come to talk about agriculture, and what kind of plants, fruits, and vegetations is zakatable. And with regards to the fruits, only at-tamr wa zabib, dates and raisin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in verse number 267. That is the same previous verse we spoke about. وَمِمَّا أَخْرَجْنَا لَكُم مِّنَ الْأَرْضِ. So he said initially, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنفِقُوا مِنْ طَيِّبَاتِ مَا كَسَبْتُمْ وَمِمَّا أَخْرَجْنَا لَكُم مِّنَ الْأَرْضِ. And what we produce for you from the earth. And he also said, وَآتُوا حَقَّهُ يَوْمَ حَصَادِهِ. And the zakah is due on the produce or the crops on the day of cultivating or collecting or harvesting the produce or the crops. Then the fifth category is treasures and precious minerals. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَفِي الرِّكَازِ الْخُمْسِ. A rikaz is the treasures which have been buried in Jahiliyyah, from the time of Jahiliyyah. You would ask me, what about if somebody found a treasure and it is from our current time in a Muslim state? So that's not a treasure, rather that's a luqata. It belonged to somebody, so we must declare it and find exactly who is the owner and pay it back to him. That's an amana. But we're talking about al-kanz or al-rikaz, what's buried underground from ancient times of al-jahiliyyah, and that's easy to recognize. Whatever people find now, they may find a jar or they find a pot full of gold from ancient times. So that too has a zakah on it, and the zakah rate differs from a category to another, as we will be discussing in details, inshallah.
So now you've given us like the types of wealth, or so shall I use the word the kind of wealth. Something that came up on this, and the reason I was smiling is that this is something which is very, how do you say, new to our societies, especially say in the West, even in the the Arab world and the Muslim world, is the new types of wealth. For example, stocks and shares and assets and bonds. So this is one of the reasons why we're speaking about this topic. Is that true?
Any contemporary wealth will fit under one of those 5 categories. And if it doesn't fit, then it's not zakatable. For instance, honey. Honey is not zakatable. Okay? But there is another way to calculate the zakah on anything that's not zakatable if it is used for trade. So that's an investment. Okay? Nowadays we have the stock market. You buy shares. You don't really have money in your hand. You have CDs, things of this nature. But this is money. How would you pay its zakah? Well, on the day of paying your zakah, you call them up, or you log on and you see how much each share that you possess, whether increase or decrease, or what they call it, a black day or a good day. So you calculate, you estimate approximately how much you own on that day, the retail sale.
Jazakallah khair. I mean,
and you pay the zakah based on that.
You've explained sort of things. I think today's what we call a good day. Jazakallah khair for being with us.
Every day is a good day.
Good day,
Alhamdulillah.
Barakallah fikum. There you are. Some more explanations to this very important topic about zakah. Please stay with me and join me next time on this, the Fiqh of Zakah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Give a little of yourself. Cure your greed. Purify your wealth. Look around at where you live. Look at all the good you have to give. Give a little of yourself. There's a hand somewhere to hold, a mouth to feed. There's so much that we can do for so many who are in need. Give our time, give our wealth, give our love, give ourselves. Know Allah sees each and every hidden deed.